Okay, so welcome everybody to our virtual open house, a way for you to get to know the advanced training. So the advanced training is one of the highlights for CMA. It is a highlight mainly because of three important factors. Number one, we only do it once in a year. So that's why we always tell our students, if you miss the boat, you're going to miss it for 1 year. And second thing is a highlight, mainly because it's one of those rare platform that we can gather all our coaches in one setting in which they get to interact with one another for a period of time, as long as about 7 months, quite intimately. Not physically, but in terms of really getting to know each other, meeting each other at least 2, 3 times a week over the webinar, over the online platform for at least 1.5 hours and 2 hours. And in one of our recent graduates events in Singapore, one of our students actually make a comment. He says that, wow, we get to know each other dark secrets.
Oh,
Mainly because in such a close, I think some of our graduates here might be was laughing. Mainly because in this period of time, you get to work with each other and you get to practice coaching. And in those contexts, because students really want to learn, and so they really put their best version in, as in they really are very vulnerable and authentic, and this is a rare occasion for them to talk about things that is at the back of their mind. So as a result, if the group has about 12 and 15 students, everybody get to know each other by the end of the 7 months, your own thought process, who you are, what are you thinking about, what's your greatest fear, so this is one of the rare platform in which students get to work with one another very closely. And another thing that makes this a very a rare opportunity is because this is an opportunity for you to advance professionally, and a direct path for you to move on to apply for your ICF PCC credential via the direct route. So with of these three reasons, it is a platform in which you get to know other coaches and also our faculty staff, a platform in which you get to work very closely with a fellow classmate, and a opportunity for you to advance towards earning your credential. We as a faculty staff are taking the advanced training very seriously, and we do mobilize quite a lot of resources to be able to support our students at this level. We have a lot of different of our faculty staff is involved, either in the learning webinars or in the practical labs or in the coaching supervision. And in addition to that, we also get to see other students mentor who have just graduated from the advanced training this batch coming in to support the students during the peer-to-peer support. So it speaks a lot about how important is this training for us. And we are very proud, that as we move on, seeing our students graduate from the advanced training, among the 88 of them who have enrolled last year, I'm pleased to inform we have 13 of them hitting almost at MCC markers. Yeah, looking at, it's quite a good investment. You're investing in the advanced training, but you get to hit your competency at MCC level. The 13 is just announced today because I was just reviewing one of the students' recording, and it was wow, a new one. So we got 13 recording right now, moving on to the MCC credential. So it really speaks a lot on the depth of the training and how we prepare our coaches to acquire the coaching competency. Now we are really very serious, okay? Well, we try to be very affirmative and encouraging and support our students. Yes, you can do it. But yet at the same time, we know that real muscles comes with a lot of sweat. Okay. As the saying goes, no pain, no gain. Okay. Of course, we won't be taking the whip and whipping you, you know what I mean? But what we want is that we want you to know that we are very serious about the advanced training, mainly because we believe the impact of the training, what you will offer our students, and what the students potentially can offer to their clients, may it be in their private practice or may in a professional life. Irregardless of personal or professional life, we know one thing: transformation is possible, and it is just a moment in time. And that moment depends one of the factors, the skills of the coach, how you can create that transformative environment for your clients to gain awareness and clarity. So without much further ado, it's better for you to hear it from the horse mouth directly. So we are very, very honored to have some of our graduates this year, who just recently completed the program to just come on board, to just come and share with you, their own personal journey. And I think you would benefit a lot by hearing directly from them how they have benefited the program, and how the program has made a difference in the way they are coaching, and also in the way how they be a coach at this point of time. So it's my honor here to have three beloved ladies that I know them personally. One of the things that I enjoy most is you really get to know your students pretty well. You know exactly what's happening in their life and what they're going through, and what's the vulnerable point. I mean, that's really a joy. So I get to know these three ladies over the period of, I mean, for some of them almost 9 months. From first level to second level, and seeing them moving on right now. So I'm going to invite these three ladies to share with you, what is their personal story. So we have Alina from Romania. Woo! We have Melina. She was formerly from Poland, but she's right now currently in Germany. And also we have P from Sweden, but right now currently in Hong Kong. But I'm sure there will be some new changes happening just around the corner. Okay, so these three ladies will just take this opportunity to just share their personal story with you. So, three ladies who would like to, yes, who would have the honor to start first.
I can start.
Go ahead, P. Thank you.
So I'm Panilla and I live in Macau. And I was at the first level, cohort 145 in Hong Kong, and hadn't even finished that, but jumped straight into the advanced level. And it was probably the best thing I could ever do because it strengthens the first level so much. It gave so much deeper meaning of what we were trying to do. The first level giving a hold of the handles and really breaking some habits that you've built up over years, and really working on transformative shifts while you're doing coaching, and then coming into the advanced level where you really dig deep in all the different topics and layers and aspects. And I think for me, one of the big thing that really has touched me on many levels was everything surrounding deep listening. I thought I was a really good listener. And I found out that it's just since we've done the advanced and had a lot of practice and moved into the competencies, how deep listening is. And I've been able to apply it with clients in my job, and most of all with my family, actually. I'm listening at such a different level now than I was 10 months ago when I met Ben the first time in Hong Kong. And it's just incredible how it's transformed me and the way I'm just communicating in general with people. So, and it's the community, the community we're building as well, the support, the trials, the errors, the failures, the practice, and how we're picking each other up again and sort of moving on to the next level, step by step. I actually have this empty space in my calendar on Monday, Tuesdays. We used to meet every Monday, Tuesday at 3:00, and I have to find something else to do now because it became such a part of what we were doing, and meeting up and seeing how people had moved on is just incredible. Mm-hmm. So I'm still missing my last recording, but it should be done shortly. But it's definitely a great journey. I can only recommend it on so many levels.
Thank you, P. I still remember the first time when we had where you are the coach in the first level, you was like freeze.
Because I think Leona can remember that too. Yeah.
And gosh, you know what happens after this whole journey? I think P has put in a lot of hard work of really internalizing, and I think the peer support around, you know, the peer support that comes alongside with it really makes a world of difference. And today I'm very pleased that P's recording is almost hitting MCC level. You can see that the fluidity in the conversations is no longer structured, but how she can trust the intuition that's coming out from her deep listening based on the size of how she can observe, coupled with the process framework that is given her. It gives her a solid but yet fluid conversation. So you need to get hold of P and ask her really and see how that training has transformed the way she's coaching as well. Thank you, P. Thank you. Okay, so we left with Alina and Milena. Alina, go ahead.
I can continue. If it's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Hi. I'm just using the chance. Hi, my name is Milena, and I would like to upfront excuse myself for some background noise if it comes. So what I would like to say is what struck me, what Ben mentioned, is that really there are three things I would like to underline. They are really very serious about this training, even though it's an online training. There is a lot of sweat, definitely, as the second thing. And the third thing is that, yes, transformation is possible
Yeah.
and it's doable.
Yeah.
And this is those three things is really what I enjoyed about this training. If I can make it a little bit more personal, for me, due to some personal struggles, this few months were really difficult. So after having completed the first level, ACC level, for me it was like, okay, and now what? Because definitely it was not enough. And I decided to do the advanced level, and it was the best decision I have made in the last years, I would say, personal and professional decision, because it changed the path of my life.
True.
And like Pernille said, I know that it hasn't stopped yet with almost finishing the PCC course, but it goes somewhere. I know there is a way in front of me. And that's the problem, what to do now in the summertime when we have no more meetings, like regular meetings. So I will definitely join some other options if possible. I can only recommend this course. There is a huge support. People are great. I mean, we are spread all over the world, and we take advantage of each other. I mean, we support each other, not only professionally, but also personally on this path. There's a lot of challenge. But we develop together, and that's perfect. How big differences we can see today and 7 or 8 months ago when we met for the first time. It's a huge developmental step. I can only recommend, and I'm always open. Whenever you have any questions, you can email me or just send me a personal message. I can answer any questions, but I can only recommend this course. There is nothing better that can happen to us as coaches and as people, as human beings.
Thank you, Melina, for sharing. And I think when Melina signed up for the program, she was in a very challenging situation. She has a lot of things that she needs to manage, and it's a major transition in her life. And why I'm raising out that point is that we are very careful with, because we know how much it meant for our students to be able to come on board. Well, we believe that we are not prepared to lower down the investment value, mainly because we understand the value of the training, and we want to make sure that student is something that is honorable, but yet at the same time we are very aware of how much it actually meant for students to be able to come on board, and therefore we pay very close attention to those individuals who are really fully committed to make this work for them. And so during the whole process, while we uphold the standard, trust me, even though the training finished, we say the virtual class is about 2 hours, sometimes it spill over to 3 hours, but certainly we end the class on time at exactly 2 hours, but we make it known that for the rest of the time we're going to stay back a little bit to interact more with those who might have questions, who might not have an opportunity to to raise it up during the 2 hours of interaction. And we are prepared to stay the extra hours, to just make sure that the theory is clear, there's no confusion, we address every doubt that you have, so we hold the hand of our students and to make sure that you get the best out of it. Why are we doing that? Is because we strongly believe that the success of the academy lies in the success of our coaches. If our coaches are not effective, what's the point of having such a huge numbers of coaches coming out from the academy where we can't even to offer a decent conversation to our clients? That your coaching is no different from the way you started before you start, and before you join the program. We want to make sure that when you come out of this program with your hard work, your commitments, your conversation is going to be very different from the way you began before you began the training. Okay, so that's Melina's personal story. She makes her steps, and what I think we're very happy for her is, well, she's more confident when she first started. When she first started level 1, she was just, maybe, okay, let's just try it out because I like psychology, and I never got a chance to do that, but now I got a chance. Let me just test it out. She came out of it more confidence in at least this knowing what she stands for and in the journey of building that brand. So thank you. It's always work in construction. Okay. Thank you. How about Alina? Would you like to share your story with our friends?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Well, I started working with Ben in March last year in cohort 115. And so many things happened since then. What I believe, that there are a few things related to this academy that is offering. First of all is this transformational process that, and this is what is the first thing that I moved from the more transactional kind of way of doing coaching to this transformational. So this is one thing, very important thing that happened to me during this period of time. And this helped me as a person and also helped me to offer to my clients a different experience. So this is really powerful about this school. And then the second thing is that, first of all, Ben is a very not only wise person, and it's also a generous person, and everything that she is doing in this school is doing for the students to perform. And he is a kind of combination of being very demanding and very firm on students learning and evolving, and in the same time very caring and compassionate and generous, really generous. And this is a kind of very unique combination. And in addition to that, there is a big diversity in everything. First of all, in the way of learning. So that's theoretical way of learning. There is a case study. There are case studies. There are live sessions done by the mentors and the supervisors. There are sessions that are recorded by yourself. And some in front of the other colleagues, which I find very challenging. And then is the final recordings that you are preparing. So it's it's a big diversity. There are a lot of people also that you are interacting with from all over the world. And I believe that this is a great offering of this school. So you get to learn in many ways, and you learn many things about yourself while doing that. And you also interact with a lot of people, and you learn from them, and you have the opportunity to share and to understand other points of view and other ways of I don't know, seeing coaching and doing coaching. So that's absolutely great. And then what else? Because I wrote down so that I will not forget. No, I think I covered them all. So this is a great experience that I really recommend. And there is no way to stop at the ACC level, you know. Then you want to move at the PCC, and not only the accreditation with the ICF, even though this means a lot in the sense of a standard. That you want, you know, to deliver your coaching to a specific standard, which is very high. But it's not only, so it's not only the accreditation in itself, but it's what you get in this program that helps you grow yourself as a professional coach, really, and as a person also. So, yeah. So my heart is here.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you. We're very honored to receive your kind words, and so the reason, and you heard our graduates sharing their life story, and I'm going to just keep the channel open for you later to reach out to them if you really want a little bit more details, you know, from their own experience. I'm going to move on now to share what some of the key things today, and then after that, you know, right after that, I'm going to have Joe and Leona, who is both our director of training, and Joe is from is our assistant director of training from New Zealand, and Leona, our director of training from Hong Kong. They will be speaking to you a little bit later. Okay, so I'm going to share what we're going to do today. In terms of what this open house hope to achieve. Basically, I have three main goals that I want to do. That is to be able to talk about the tangible benefit, and you have already heard from our graduates how they have benefited from the program. And then I'll move on to talk about the program structure, how the program is put together, the different phase, and what we hope to achieve at the different phase. And then finally, we're going to have a Q&A in which we do our best to help you to answer some of the questions that you have in mind. So let's just watch this video first. That talks, one of the benefits besides personal gain of how it can accelerate your coaching competency. Another intangible benefit from this program is that it advances your professional development. This program is approved at ACTP level. It's an ACTP accredited program that supports our coaches to be able to apply for their PCC credential directly. After we have watched this video clip, just a short 2 minutes video clip, I'm going to invite Joe and Leona to share a little bit, from their perspective, the importance of professional developments and honoring professional coaching with a credential. Okay, so let's watch this video. Oops, just a minute. Okay. Oops, there's a little bit technical hitches here. This doesn't work on this computer. Just give me a short few seconds and I should be able to do a direct showing of this video. And here it goes. Okay. Good. This video is produced by ICF during one of their celebration in which they want to celebrate ICF legacy. Okay, so I found this video very meaningful. So let's watch this video.
Imagine this. The pins are what you really want to create in your life. And you're the ball. And I'm the bumpers at the side where the gutters are to keep you from rolling off track into the gutter and keep you lined up and focused on what it is you really want in your life. That's how I explain coaching to people. I'm Julia Matern, and I'm a professional certified coach. I was a professor of music for 20 years, and so I would be working with these students for an hour a week, just them and me, for 4 years, sometimes 5 years. And you can imagine the kind of relationships that develop from that. And at some point, I realized, oh, I'm doing coaching. Maybe I ought to check this out, or maybe I ought to actually get trained in it. Around the time that things were really hitting for me, my dad died suddenly and unexpectedly from a heart attack. And that was a big wake-up call for me, that life is short and you better be doing what you want to be doing. My dad was one of those people who always saw the good in other people. He always saw their full potential and he championed it. And he believed in people. And that's a huge part of what coaching's about. Even though he didn't get to see me become a coach, I know that he would really be proud of the work that I'm doing in the world now and what I'm able to give to people. I love helping people. I love helping people work through things that have kept them stuck, have kept them playing small, have kept them from living to their fullest potential. And now I have the opportunity to help other people who are like me, you know, well-educated, trained professionals who've invested a lot in a career. And I can help them to put all the pieces together and get in touch with what it is they really want to do and help them through the transition so that they can live the rest of their life really fulfilled. Being a credentialed coach is really important to me because it's all about my commitment to the profession of coaching. It's how I say to the world, I am a professional coach. Credentialing has helped me as a coach because it really establishes my credibility as a professional coach. And what that has done for me personally is it just makes me feel more confident in the work that I'm doing in the world and in presenting myself as a true professional. Having something that's recognized as the standard, the mark of being a professional, has definitely helped open doors for me and helped me to stand out in a crowded marketplace from other coaches.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I often tell coaches, yes, it's about the credential. The credential does mean something, but I think beyond having the credential is what is the meaning behind the credential. You know, when you earn it, especially you work so hard to earn it, it's that feeling of saying, wow, I have arrived. I have come to a point where the world recognize who you are. It's just like Olympic players. I mean, don't tell me that the medal means nothing to them. But it's not about the medal. Okay? It's about what it means, how the world see you, and what is the message that you're telling the world. You know, it is a message that I'm proud of what I've done, and I want to feel proud about it. And that's what it means, especially in this professional service, about us serving another human being. And it's all about mastery, and it's all about being artful. And that credential is just a way to validate what you're honoring as important, as a way to secure your commitment to make that a reality. Okay, so with that, I'm going to invite Joe and Leona, okay, to be able to share a little bit, about, professional growth in terms of, professional growth and professional advancement. Okay, Joe and Leona, would you like to share a little bit along this line?
Okay, I start.
Thank you.
uh, I think we all know the importance of having a credential in professional coaches, because we do contribute to our clients in a professional way. So I'm not going to add that. I'd like to share something more interesting, because when we step into the advanced level training, it's about how we can demonstrate the ICF core competencies. And being a mentor in the program, I very often get questions that, Leona, when we go and coach people, our client, do we really have to demonstrate all these core competencies? And my answer is no, of course not, because sometimes our clients purchase our coaching service not because of the ICF core competencies. It's about other things. It may be about our previous professional background. Maybe it's about who we are. They like us, they trust us, so they commission us. The thing is, and I really love a slogan that one of my recent clients used in their internal values. They said, in order to break the rules, we first master it. So the journey about getting into advanced training and be able to demonstrate 47 plus ethical and professional standard core competencies, it is a personal development journey that get ourselves to prove to ourselves that we can master it, so that now we have a choice to break the rules. And I personally quite like that kind of challenge, professional, and I will normally share this joy with my mentees. And and when we can master, we have choices.
Thank you, Leona.
That's all from me.
Thank you. And by the way, Leona is just besides me over in the other room. Okay. Good. That's the beauty of
physically. Physically, I'm actually in Ben's daughter's room.
Thank you, Leona. Okay. How about Joe? What would you like to add on in regards to this topic?
I think I've just written down something that, and I'll try and elaborate on what I'm thinking. The more I know, the less I know. And having worked with Ben, who I will say his passion, his dedication, his continuing desire and passion to learn helps us to continue to learn. And just when you think you've got it, he's teaching us something new. And that is such a privilege to be able to work with Ben, because what it does for me as a coach is it just makes me want to get better and better and better. And so yes, to have the credential is very important for your, do you understand what mana is? You know, for your kudos, for your respect from the outside world. But it's like you every time you're getting to a different level and you think, wow, there's so much more to know. And so you keep striving.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. And that's really the spirit behind, the day we stop growing, the day we stop learning, the day we stop growing. And we are constantly exploring, experimenting, and evolving as we join force with the collective wisdoms and practice of other coaches. We come together to find what might be a more effective way, useful way, creative way to bring about transformations. Okay, and that's the reason why you are here today in this open house, is that you want to discover what else is there for me to be able to bring that transformation a little bit more deeper to your client. Okay, and I think that's really a noble ambitions, because we must always say we are never there. Okay, we are never there yet. Okay, and with that in mind, I'm quickly move on to the next part of the presentation, in which I want to let you know that there's so much more that we can't be learning about transformation. And I think Joe is right. Okay, yes, I'm constantly learning and experimenting and testing and engineering something. The more we understand the subject matter, the better we can in engineering the process. And for me, change is a science itself, because there's so much dynamics and principles that condition and regulates the process. So there's lots to learn. And what I fundamentally believe is that we all know that everybody desire change, and everybody likes change to a great extent because of what change brings to them. And what people look at is, at the behavior level, what can be replaced or what can be add on. And that is how they see change. Well, I wouldn't argue with them that that is not right, but I would say that that is incomplete. Well, behavior change is what we can see, but what we need to create is not just behavior change. We want a behavior change that has a quality that is sustainable. No point to replace something or to add something that will only last as long as the stimulus exists. The change initiative needs to be able to transcend the fact that the situation and the time. So what I believe in is that the sustainable change that we all desire to give to our clients is a function of transformation. So here I'm literally splitting the hair very, very closely, because I see that there is a difference between change and transformation, because transformation is not the same as change. Most of us see change as replacing or adding, while transformation is the reconfiguration of the core engine. Now, that's where things get very exciting. We want to hold people accountable for change. That's for sure. And I would never argue with anyone that we need to hold people accountable for change. But the way we execute is incomplete. Conventionally, we hold people for the accountability to change by increasing responsibility. You need to take responsibility. You need to take the right action. Obviously, for change to happen, we need to take action. But is that what it is? There is more to it. Okay, we all are mature individuals. We know that life is not that just so simple. Take responsibility and everything will begin to shift. No, there's more to that. Besides responsibility that we are all familiar with, we can say, oh, we need the commitment, we need the motivation, we need to know the purpose, we need to know the value. Great, we're talking to the heart. We need to take actions, we need to feel passionate about it. But is that all? Is that what will allow change to be sustainable? What we have discovered here is that there is one tiny little process that is missing, and that is the ownership of change. The ownership of change goes beyond knowing how to do the right thing and feeling right about it. It has to go through a process of learning. When people go through a process of learning, they generate from within. It's like I'm giving birth to something. Come on, we are all parents. We protect our child like nobody business. It's mine. So when we produce something, we treasure it. And that's where we can rise up the bar of creating a higher quality of sustainability, where we can incorporate these three elements: right actions, right feeling, which is what the conventional coaching has offered to our coaches transactionally, to support them in taking the right action and feel right about it. What CMA offers here is the learning process, how we can allow them to generate their own change process in terms of how they learned and think about it. Now, here, the fundamental principle of this whole process lies on these basic principles. That is helping people to become aware of our own story and how we're living it. It's about perceptions. Now, there's many things that impact change, but one of the things that CMA focuses as a proprietary technology that allow us to be a thought leader in the transformative learning is our ability to help people to manage their perception. Perception is a way it's a way that people is looking at themselves. Imagine a frame of reference. We are constantly moving. Things around us, situation around us is constantly moving. That means, in other words, our frame of reference is constantly changing. The key here is, do you know where's your frame of reference? Just like an aeroplane that is taking off from the airport, going to a final destination. That is what we call autopilot. Yes, we know there's autopilot where both points are locked and the planes charge towards the path. But it's not that simple. Even though the both end is locked, as the plane take off, the plane is constantly sending signal to the final destination and bounce back so that they know exactly where they are at this moment, even though the pathway is charged. This allows the plane to make sure that they are constantly attuned. That means they are constantly calibrated to make sure the path doesn't go off. That's what we need. We live our own story. We have our own story. And the point is, we don't pay attention to our perceptions. And lo and behold, our perceptions is the one that mess out everything. And if we can help our clients to be able to see themselves as a witness, that means they looking at themselves and how they actually play out in that story as a witness, they can then now understand what is happening. And it was in that position that we brings about clarity to them. And it was out of this clarity through the process of learning that we increase the ownership of change. And if we can couple that with what is existing available in terms of our approach to increase responsibility and commitment, we are in a better position to offer a change that is more sustainable. And that's the big picture of what we are trying to work on in this transformative coaching process to offer a shift. In level 1 training, as I think Pete has mentioned, level 1 training attempt to help our coaches to change the habit, to shift the way of thinking as a coach, of less resolving, less breaching, and less of solutioning to a curious mode. Because if the coach is not curious, there is no learning, and therefore it limits the ability to draw out from the clients. We will be more doing something to our clients rather than drawing out. So once the level 1 is secure, that's where we can move on at the advanced level to equip you with the skills of how you can manage what you draw out in service of this change process. Okay, so in order to help our students to be able to ground themselves at the mastery level, we have incorporated 3 key components of learning here that is going to support the level 1. Now, it's not 2 different programs, it's actually 1 program. So in this second level, we're going to give you more deeper understanding on these 3 key components that makes change sustainable. That is to understand the transformative dynamics, what is involved in the creative process. That's where we unpack to you, wow, the world of integrative whole, of how perception comes together. And that's why students say, what? what single, double, triple loop, what is that? What is that? Okay, but that is an important part. You need to understand how the perception is created and how that perception is being played out in a story. Okay, of course, that's the science. We need to also give you some grounding as a way of being, which we strongly believe, but we're going to give you, just enough at this level to hold the space for you. That's why we love to have Molly Gordon, one of our favorite, guest speaker. She not only teaches about the personal mastery, she is an embodiment of the personal mastery. Just listening to her and just observing her, we all just simply know that is what it is called authentic presence. Okay, certain lessons has to be caught and not taught. Okay, so we have, that's why we're going to talk about authentic presence and deep listening and evocative asking. Not so much of a theoretical framework, but more on experiencing it and seeing the embodiment of it. And finally, we move on to another piece in which we give you the tool. I'm sure you are sick and tired of, and when you say this, what do you mean by that? What else? What makes that important? Is that all that we're going to learn now? Okay, that is just a way to shape a thinking. Now that your thinking is more or less conditioned in a way of curiosity to draw out, we can incorporate a little bit more advanced tool, and we will share to you how you can extract meaning beyond using a syntax itself. That's why we introduce to you the concept of clean language and metaphor, and also helping you to understand how language plays an important part in creating change. So this is the whole big concept that we have designed in the second level to help to build your coaching muscles. It's a huge piece, okay? And to achieve this, that's where we put the various part of that's where we come to the most important part, which is how this program is put together to help you to achieve that. So this is a big overview of the training schedule. The next intake is happening in the month of November and December. Why November and December? Isn't that just a fixed date? Well, mainly because the advanced training, that is 2 time slot. By the way, is delivered purely online. And the reason why we do it online is that the concept that we are delivering is very heavy, and therefore spreading it across a period of time in small droplets is a very effective way to allow you to allow it to sink to you. Okay, great. And since it's done online and recognizing the fact that we are a global community, we are offering the program at 2 different time slots. The first time slot that you can consider is 3 p.m. Singapore time, and it really surprised me that it seems that the 3 p.m. Singapore time is all-time favorite time slot for most of our global coaches. For our coaches, and that's where you get a lot of diversity. Mainly because in this time slot, we can have New Zealand, the Ocean Pacific coaches to join us, and also at the same time, those in London who are in the early morning, who's not in full-time placement, can join us, and also Middle East. So 3 p.m. is one of the favorite time slot. We also want to be very sensitive to people who are currently in employment, and mainly because, and also because a vast majority of our coaches right now is in Asia and Middle East and Africa time zone. So 9 o'clock seems to be working best for them. It's right after that evening time, and also it caters to the need in our coaches in Asia context. So there are 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. So we repeat the content in these 2 different time slots. Okay, the training program comprises of 5 key learning module. No, I won't say learning module, but key 5 different phases. The first phase is the learning lab, in which we ground you with the theoretical understanding. And the second phase is the practical lab, in which we introduce the ICF PCC markers. And this is very practical because we are talking about how do you need to demonstrate the behavior. How can you inquire in the way that demonstrate your understanding of the markers? And then another phase is called the peer-to-peer coaching, in which students get together to play. Okay, that means test it out. Test what you have just learned to make sure that you actually know what you're learning. And ironically, students know that they don't know what they're learning because as they try to share and correct each other, they start to realize, I think I'm not very clear what that markers is. It sounds clear to me when I heard it, but now as I try to observe it and try to make comments, it doesn't sound clear anymore. That is good. Okay, that is an important part of learning, is to discover what is it that you don't know. Okay, it's not what you know, it is what is it that you don't know. Okay, so the peer-to-peer coaching allows our coaches two main things. First, they get to build friendships with coaches outside their cohort and get to connect with coaches across the globe. We are very careful to make sure that we create as much diversity as we can in every groups. And second, it creates a learning platform for you to have safe learning by sharing and testing out what is it that you know and what is it that is still fuzzy. The next phase of it is the mentoring, which is part of the ACTP program that students will be supported individually on a one-to-one sessions by ICF credential coach. And this mentoring session is going to be a period of time starting from February to September. It runs parallel together with peer-to-peer coaching. And one thing very valuable is that we actually time the schedule for our students. So we had the first mentoring to be done at a certain period, the second mentoring at a certain period, to mark according to the learning progress of the learning journey, to make sure that at every checkpoint we give our students a point of feedback from the expert or at least from the supervisor. Okay, so and also at the same time, the mentor coaching session is allow us to have an opportunity to help you to close up your learning gap on a one-to-one level. Okay, that's also put in place to support you to be able to provide 2 recording that meets the PCC level. Okay. And the last phase is the coaching supervision. The coaching supervision, by and large, is the all-time favorite for most of coaches. It's not because they get to coach and receive feedback. What makes the second level coaching supervision an invaluable learning session is that the coach has that opportunity to invite a client who has not done a coaching program before. And the coach has a full 40 minutes to coach the client. And that makes the learning invaluable because we all know that coaching your friends in the first level training is not the same in coaching someone who don't understand the coaching language or just don't understand what is it that you want to take away. Take what away? Okay, you know? Okay, so it's very interesting to see how a client's will respond to the process, and it's provide a lot of rich case study because clients sometimes just don't tell the coach what is it that they need to say. It's just not, they're just not coach. They can't express themselves as spontaneous, as fluid, as a coach who has been to a coach training. So the drawing out from the clients is going to be very challenging. And that's why all the observer looks at the coach and see, ha, 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 ha. Okay. So there's so much rich learning here to see. And it's good to learn from another coach so that okay, gosh, if this is going to happen to me in the future, at least I know what to do. Okay. And because we have so many students enrolled in the advanced training and we just want to make sure everyone got a chance. So this year we have 88 different sessions. Okay, that means 88 different clients patterned, with different topics, different nationality, So it provides a very good case material for any coaches who wants to sharpen their skills. Okay, so that's the coaching supervisions, where we see how the learning is being applied, into a real clients, and then debrief around the growth opportunity. Okay, good. So that's a big picture of what the training comprises of, and here is the time allocation. If you need to know how much time that I need to allocate, well, it might be interesting to just take a look at the period. We time it very carefully to make sure that we do it in the most convenient cycle for our students. So the learning lab happens in typically end of the year in November and December, and then finish off sometime in February. I think that's where most students are not, the schedules are not at the peak, because typically nobody do anything in the beginning of January. Just coming from New Year, everybody's still in New Year season. So in terms of projects and work responsibility, it's not at the peak at that point of time. Okay, so the most heavy part of the learning is actually the learning lab and the practical lab. Okay, that's where we seize that small little window of time before everybody peak periods come to lay all the knowledge that we need to offer to our coaches. Okay, and thereafter when we move over to the peer-to-peer, it's pretty much flexible. You will get to negotiate with your groups to decide which is the best time. The group get to decide. Each group will have quite a numbers. You can split into two groups. If that timing doesn't work for you, just reach out to us and we can easily find you a group that best suits your timing. The mentoring is personal timing. It's up to your schedule, so it's quite flexible in that case because you get to control the time. The coaching supervision is very flexible because there are 3 different slots of coaching supervision every day for you to choose, and it spans from the month of May to June. Okay, all you need is just pick up 12 sessions. So there's a lot of flexibility around the planning of your time. Okay, so in terms of the load itself, these are the load. This is the learning. This is the number of sessions in every module. There are 10 sessions in study labs, 10 sessions in practical labs, peer-to-peer coaching. Well, actually, we suggest minimum 4 sessions, but typically what happens is that they do more than 4 sessions. Okay, they meet almost every week, 2 to 3 times. So what we want is to create that platform for you to be able to work with another fellow coaches, and 12 sessions for the coaching supervisions. Okay, I'm going to just pause here and just highlight one important thing is that all the sessions are recorded. So you can get to preview them offline later on. And for any reason, if for 1 or 2 sessions you have to miss, it's fine. You can always go back and preview the recording. Okay, but certainly if you do that, if you keep on skipping, then you are doing yourself a disservice, because what makes it valuable is the community and the environment. Okay, but if you're just concerned that what if I'm overseas and I need to do my for business trip and stuff like that, I'm going to miss 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, well, that affects my certification. No, we at this level we fully trust our students as it is an adult learning self-directed platform. We don't monitor and supervise and mark attendance, stuff like that, but certainly we'll reach out to you if we notice that you have not been able to, we have not seen you for quite a while. We do reach out to you so that we understand where what happens and be there to support you to make whatever necessary adjustment if we can we know what is happening to you, okay? But apart from that, we don't really kind of like mark you by physical attendance. What is important for us at the end of the day is this: we know that students have different learning style. Okay, some works best with tight supervision. Some just say, don't touch me, just leave me alone. Okay, I can figure my way out. Whatever that is, we trust you. We create the infrastructure for you. You take advantage of it. What is most important by the end of the day is that you produce 2 recording that meets at the PCC standard level, and we have an objective assessment. You are in the practical lab. You actually learned how we are actually assessing the recording, and you're applying the same knowledge to assess your own recording. Okay, so as long as you are able to hit that PCC markers, we congratulate you. Okay, because as Leona has mentioned, as Joe has mentioned, at the end of the day, it's the muscles that is far more important. And we have been in this field for almost 2 decades. We understand the all shape and sizes of coaches, and we just want to be as accommodative, as supportive as we can, but yet upholding the higher standard. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for a while to see if there are any questions in regards to the way the program is structured, or if you have any concern around it, you just like to air it out. This is the best platform for you to get some clarity. I know it's offered a lot of information, so don't worry. We will send the brochure to you. I'm sure some of you who have already expressed interest has received the brochures, but we can extend the brochures for you to take a look offline. But I just want to check here, is there some interesting question in this very moment that strikes you, and we'd love to be able to help you with that. Okay, if not, I'm doing
Ben.
Who's that? Sorry. Is that Mary?
Ben, quick question. Yes, for the part of Africa, we have some students who have just completed. If you went straight to the advanced program without really having an opportunity to do muscle building at the SCCA level 1, would it really make sense? Because it's like going to school, you finished your university, and then you are going in straight for a master's. Don't you require a little bit of time before I advance to get some experience in getting and building my muscles more at the first level, then take a bit of time to advance? So I would think it's also good to repeat this program the second half of the year.
Just a minute. First, I'll pass the time to P. P will have some comments around it. And I'm sure Alina and Milena will be able to comment on that because they jump right into the second level immediately. Okay, P, would you like to share your experience? Mary may not have heard that at the beginning part. She just happened to join us. Yeah.
So Mary, I did exactly that. I had basically just finished my ACC training the 4 days, and then I went straight in. I even think I might have missed the first session. I went into the PCC, to the higher level, the advanced level, and it was the best thing I could do because it sort of ran in parallel. So I was building, we were doing the coaching supervision while I was learning the learning labs at the advanced level. And it really, really was a good marriage. It really supported even the ACC level during the PCC level training at that time. And I see it a little bit like, you want to get fit, you can go on and do, what's it called? Building muscles. But if you really want to be fit, you also need to do cardio at the same time. So it's a combination that really worked to my advantage. I think it was perfect that I did both at the same time, basically. But it fit my learning style as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. How about
Okay.
Joe and Sarah? Joe and Leona. Every time I say Joe, I always bring Sarah. So Joe and Leona, is there any comments? Anything that you'd like to add on? It's quite a concern here with some of the students. Most of the students is thinking, okay, I need to first finish first level, get some experience around it, and then after that coming back for the second level. So what's your comments around that, Joe?
Can I just ask a question to P, if that's all right?
Go ahead.
P, you had mentioned that it is your learning style. Can you explain that a bit more?
I need to sort of be almost showered with it from all sides and angles. That's how I really learn very well. And I think, again, it did go in parallel because we were practicing, we were doing our coaching supervision at the first level while learning additional theory that helped build the knowledge. So the handles became clearer, and the whole way you were building up the session of the awareness and clarity, the ACC model, because we were learning things at a higher level in the advanced level, while going through and listening to the coaching supervision in the first level. So for me, those 10 weeks or 12 weeks, I think it was, when we did the first level coaching supervision, was like a curve this way, because I got additional information through the learning labs of more details in it. So for me, it's about the details and the practice at the same time. That was such a great learning combination for me.
Yeah, thank you.
If that answered the question.
Thank you. I've got a couple of things I want to say. I believe that Sarah and I were, and possibly Leona, we were in the first advanced training that Ben did. I know that Sarah and I were, and living in New Zealand. What's that?
Okay, sorry, I took them back to legal.
Okay, you can go ahead, Joe.
Okay, and Sarah and I, we did the training at 2 a.m, and we would be up from 2 till 4 or 5 a.m. doing the training. And we would be thinking, what are we doing? Well, this is crazy. But it's like, you just do it. And somehow, even though you think that you're being completely overloaded, whether you're going from one training directly into the next, or you're doing the training at 2 a.m, and you're so excited when it's finished, you couldn't even think to go to sleep because you're just so excited by it all. So it's just like, don't think too much about it and just do it. You know? And the other thing is that I look at our students who started their level 1 training last year and went, and a number of them have gone directly on to the advanced, and without finishing one, and then they went on to the other. And as their trainer, I look at the absolute magical growth that these men and women have gone through, both personally and professionally, and to think that they are at a level that they're at gives me such joy, and I know would give Ben such joy to see that.
Yes. And what my quick response to that is, if you give yourself time to gain experience, you'll be start to learn bad habit again. And so when you come back to the advanced training, then you have to unlearn those bad habits that you gain along the way, just like how you did for your first level, you have to unlearn all the bad habits of your past coaching experience. And since you are doing coaching, you might as well use this opportunity to get it right in terms of the theoretical framework. You know what I mean? The theory has to be right so that the practice can be executed. So you might be thinking, oh, what if I don't have experience? Well, that's the reason why you need to be in the advanced training if you want to gain experience to make change work. Because in the advanced training itself, in the peer-to-peer coaching, there's a lot of opportunity for you to gain that experience as you spar with your fellow coaches. You actually gain the experience. In the coaching supervision, you actually gain the experience. Yeah, Melina, go ahead. You want to say
I
something?
wanted to add something. What I heard from attorney as well, there is this, learning curve. So for me, I almost went from ACC. I mean, I finished my ACC course and then I started immediately my PCC level. I can just tell you that I think you have enough time in those 10 weeks online practice on the first level to master your knowledge and your skills and improve this. And I believe it's always best to strive for the better, So keeping too long at the same level is like boiling in the same sauce.
Yes.
Sorry for the comparison. So it's always, even if you believe, I may not know enough, I may not have enough experience, it's always better to strive for the best, And in this group, you will meet people who are already professional coaches, who finish maybe different trainings, who bring their life experience. That was my case. And you always learn from them. And like Ben described, the PCC course structure is really, it's done gradually. So you always get enough knowledge to absorb, to practice, and then, like Joe mentioned, then and there is something else, and there is always something more. So I would just summarize, like Joe said, don't think, just do it. It applies to our personal life and also to our professional coaching life. If you really want it, just do it, because the PCC course is generally offered once a year, so it's only one chance to do it now. Otherwise, you will be too long in the same level, and I can tell from personal experience, definitely it will do no good to you. So just go for it.
Thank you, Melina, for that wonderful response. And go ahead, Alina.
Yeah, as much as I think of it, these two programs actually is one program for me. So it became to me now when I'm looking back, the first one is building the base and is building the structure and for you to start thinking in a different way. But afterwards you need to put more meat, let's say, on the bones and to really and you have this opportunity in the advanced because it's having everything. It's having the theory, and if you need theory, then you can bring the theory there, and you have examples, and then you have the possibility to practice, and really you can build your professionalism in this way. Otherwise, it's difficult to remain at that beginner level. So I cannot see them now, one without the other.
Thank you, Alina, for highlighting that it's actually one program divided into two phases of learning. Thank you. Okay, I'm very mindful of the time, so I just want to, unless Leona, you have something to add on? Okay, good. Is there any other questions that you would like to take advantage of this platform to clear it out? So I'm just giving some time here before we close the sessions. Okay, so as usual. Oh, okay,
Hi, Ben. Hello, Ben. How are you doing?
Go ahead, great.
Yeah, thank you. I just have a couple of perhaps questions around the fact that the advanced training offers one let me just get it straight. It offers one a direct access to be able to apply for their PCC credentials. Is that right?
Absolutely right.
Okay. All right. So that's great. We've been getting a lot of questions in Uganda from our clients, those from the 133rd cohort and those from the 161st cohort with Stanbic Bank and the other independent coaches, many of whom are interested in pursuing coaching as a profession. So they've been asking us a lot of questions around what next steps they need to do for credentialing. First of all, to become ACC, and obviously then to become a PCC with due time. And so I just think these kinds of webinars are very helpful for us to log on to from time to time. And it also helps us as faculty members, myself and Joanne, who are based here in Uganda, to be able to go back to them and answer their questions as and when they ask us, because they think we know everything, which in fact we don't. But when they ask us these questions, they think we know a lot. So it's good to keep on refreshing this information with us and just be able to flag it with them as and when they ask. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for your comments. Good. So anyone else has any questions regards to the program? So I'm counting down now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Okay. So I hope the session is useful for you as you hear from the horse mouth directly and feel the heartbeat from the faculty staff in regards to what this program is all about. Now, Maya will be available to answer all your questions. If you have any questions, please email to her. And what we like to know is that please take advantage of the promotion offer that ends end of July. Okay, this is only given to students who register for the program from January till as of now. Now the promotion offer stands for those and it's only valid till 31st of July. And thereafter, we're going back to the normal regular fees. So if you are keen and interested, just reach out to Maya, and you have any financial concern, just reach out to her and we'll walk you through to see how best we can support you. Okay, so with that in mind, please remember to join us for our CPD tomorrow, a learning webinar, one of our interesting all-time favorite topic, and that is what people don't tell you when they start a business. So we want to get real with you. Okay, we want to tell you what is real so that you're better prepared. And Leona has just agreed to come in tomorrow at 3 p.m. to share also her story, okay, of how she gets started. Trust me, it's always wiser to learn from somebody else mistake or experience so that you don't have to go around again. So I'm sure you will benefit a lot as you hear not just only successful story, but stories that doesn't seem to be successful, our own pain, so that you know what to avoid. And I'm sure Joseph is there too. I'm not sure if he's going for the 3 p.m. or the 9 p.m. slot, but these are people who have tested, get their hand burned, and they're going to tell you how not to get your hand burnt. Okay.
I'm going for the 9 a.m., which is, I don't know what time it is in Singapore, but in Uganda it's 10 a.m. That's the slot I'm going for.
Good. Yeah. So Joseph, we get practitioner people is here to share with you. So mark on your calendar, join us for this week and next week, whatever the time is, 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. So with that, take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, P. Thank you, Melina. Thank you, Alina, for joining us. And thank you, Leona.
Thanks, Ben.
Bye.
And Joe.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.